us here on Off the Bench. Appreciate it, Coach. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys.
Absolutely. Tigers rolling in. This bye week for you guys feels like it's coming at the right time of the season. I guess it's a good time of the year to kind of lick your wounds and take a break before getting back into it against Bama.
Yeah, the guys, a much-needed break yesterday. Today's going to be Telling the Truth Monday. Tomorrow we have a pretty good practice, and then Thursday's going to be the Tiger Bowl. Younger guys get the scrimmage. The older guys are going to coach them. Give them the weekend off, and then come next Monday, should be well rested.
More about LSU this week, Coach?
All about LSU. Our coaches were in yesterday, self-scouting. We're going to look at our self-scout this morning as a staff. Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be about getting better at LSU, and a little bit about Alabama.
Who's going to be the head coach of the teams on the Tiger Bowl squads?
We haven't chose that yet, T-Bob. That's a big honor, so we have a big staff meeting on that. That's a big deal.
All right. I'm interested to see who gets to put on the whistle there. Coach, so obviously the big news, well, I mean, look, the bottom line this past weekend, another dominant double-digit win over another ranked team. Seems like it's been every single week this year. 7-1 heading into the bye week. Not a lot of people had that. But the major storyline that seemed to kind of take the headlines was Devin White, the targeting call. Regardless of if anybody agrees or not, it is what it is. He is going to be out for that first half against Alabama. So my question to y'all is, because I know with the new staff and everything, these game plans get started very, very early, right?
Yes.
Does not having Devin White, how much does that alter y'all's game plan?
I talked to Dave this morning. Patrick Queen has done a good job for us. Michael Baxterfield has done a good job for us. We got Damone Clark. So we have some good linebackers. We have to get those guys ready to play, see which one that can do the best job and have them play the first half. Obviously, we're going to have to play our defense, not change a whole bunch, and then adjust to what they do. So it's going to be a combination of both, but obviously we're going to miss Devin. I want to say something about that call. It's very unfortunate. I thought it was very unfair. I didn't think it was the right call, but there's nothing we can do about it now. We got to move on. We can't blink. That's the past, and we're moving forward.
And, Coach, that actually seems like that's something y'all have been really good with this year. I mean, you lose a guy like Ed Ingram, the best O-lineman right before the season starts, and then Caleb Chasen, elite pass rusher, week number 1. How have you been so good at just kind of pushing through that adversity?
We talked to the team about that. Next man up. We don't blink. It's a mindset. We don't talk about it. We don't complain. One of our team rules is no whining, no complaining, no excuses. So that's one of the team rules.
And so when you look forward, no whining, so now it's time to get on to Alabama. And when you look at this Alabama team just off the bat, kind of what do you think, how is this year's Alabama offense, maybe this year Alabama team, different than Bama teams of the past?
Tua, his RPOs, run pass options, what they're doing, getting rid of the ball quick, throwing it deep. I think he's made the difference on defense. They're a little bit more multiple than they've been. Obviously, very talented. I think those are the differences.
Coach, how much emphasis on recruiting this week?
A lot of emphasis. We were out yesterday. Most of the guys, except the coordinators, were out, mainly in Louisiana. Some guys in Dallas. Tuesday and Wednesday we'll be in the office. Thursday and Friday, except the coordinators, guys will be out watching games. And then Saturday we'll get ready for Alabama.
Have you all seen a positive uptick on the recruiting trail with the 7-1 start, just in terms of when y'all are making calls? Do you think the messaging is kind of getting through more?
Yes, they see what we're doing. They like our offense. They like especially what we're doing on defense, obviously. They love the special teams. They see the team camaraderie. That Georgia game was a big game for us. We had a lot of recruits there. That atmosphere in Tiger Stadium was unbelievable. The more times we can have guys to football games and sell Tiger Stadium, the education, the total program that we're doing, we seem like we're on the right track.
Yeah, and Coach, this offense right now is interesting to me because, like we said, the offensive line has dealt with a ton of turnover, just coming in the season, replacing guys at every single position group. And honestly, it seems like through some good execution by the players, through some solid coaching, it's almost like the offense is playing a bit over their head right now. What is the plan to kind of scheme up some success with this offense against an Alabama defense that seems to be very good? Specifically that Bama pass rush right now, top in the conference.
Got to protect. That's been the whole key against Alabama. We got to block those guys up front. Find a way, whether it be spread them out, whether it be tighten them up, whatever it may be. I know Steve's going to have a great game plan. You got to get rid of the ball quick. And then when you have your one-on-one matchups outside with our wide receivers, we have to win.
Yeah, and it seems like outside looking in, and look, the receiver group has ended up being the driving force of this offense, which is kind of crazy to see as someone who watched so much LSU. But it seems like when this offense found success last week, it was when you did start to spread it out a little more, put a little more trust in Joe Burrow. Do you think that could be something that you see in a couple of weeks?
You have to. There's no way you can play football in the box against Alabama and expect to win. It ain't going to happen. That's their game. You have to spread them out. But again, when you spread them out, it's about protection first and getting rid of the ball quick.
And then, Coach, on the other side of the ball, the defensive line these last couple of weeks has really been pleasant to see. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how maybe this group was underperforming, like where's Glenn Logan been? Then all of a sudden, Ed Alexander now looks like he's holding down that middle nose position. Tyler Shelvin even gave you some series last week. What kind of growth have you seen in that D-line group recently?
100%. Being more active. The big game plan was holding the gap against Mississippi State. They like running the big gaps. We had to hold our gap. I thought Neil Farrell came in and did an excellent job, and so did Tyler Shelvin. And Glenn Lowe, and like you said, Alexander, those guys are playing their best ball right now.
You had to be proud of that group performing without a guy like Fehoko, who seemed like he was such a stable force for that unit all season.
Yeah, he was, and he's turned out to be our emotional leader. But we're gonna have him back for Alabama. That's gonna help in our rotation. Well, I'm really proud to see the play of Ed Alexander and Tyler Shelvin came in, gave us some good reps there.
So you expect Fehoko back, Coach?
Yes, he's going to be back. Should be back 100%.
Yeah, and now it's a situation where it seems like you can play Fehoko back at end, where maybe his more natural position is if Ed Alexander and Shelvin can hold down that nose position. Speaking of guys who have been out, another piece of adversity, losing your fifth-year starting, your fifth-year guard senior, the leader of that offensive line. What is the current status on Guerre Brumfield?
Yeah, T-Bob, he's still not ready. I don't know if he's going to be ready against Alabama. He was 60% last week. I don't know how you get to 100% in 2 weeks. Now, maybe he can. I'm not saying he won't. But he's not going to practice this week full speed. I don't know if he's going to be ready to play the game.
Yeah. What about what did you see out of your freshman Chasen Hines? I mean, look, it's a tough task being 18 years old and having to go against Jeffrey Simmons.
Yes.
What did the film show?
I'm so proud of him. He battled, man. Now Jeffrey beat him a couple of times on a reach block, but he battled. He was in there. Chasen's very smart. He's athletic. I think he's going to be an excellent offensive lineman for LSU.
Two of your stars, Coach, recognized again by the conference. Grant Delpit, Defensive Player of the Week, and then Cole Tracy. T-Bob and I did the math. He's played 8 games, and 50% of the time he's been recognized as the Conference Player of the Week. An incredible job of evaluating and bringing him in for the year.
Yeah, we're excited, obviously, about Cole. He's a great young man. He's fit in well. A kid from Newberry Park, California. We couldn't ask for a better young man. I wish we had him for 4 years. And what about the player Grant Delpit, one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in the country, being coached by Bill Bush, who Bill has done a tremendous job with Grant. I'm glad we have Grant for another year.
Yeah, I think most LSU fans would echo that sentiment. Another guy, Coach. Now, so we talked about a lot of guys that were lost. One of the guys who has gained this offseason was Christian Fulton. And at the beginning of the year, you could tell there was a little bit of rust there. Huge potential, a little bit of rust. Christian Fulton seems to get better every single week. What have you seen out of Fulton?
Yeah, well, he'll accept the challenge. Obviously, some people will throw away from Greedy, some people won't. But you can tell when the people are trying to throw away from Greedy, and Christian knows it, and he's played wonderful. That pick he had was a tremendous pick. His man-to-man coverage has been excited. I'm so excited for him and his family that he got to play this year. What a tremendous story.
Coach, I know that you probably weren't too happy with this, but players will be players. I got one of these penalties back in my day as well. The celebration penalty after the pick. Did they ever offer any clarity? Someone was asking me earlier, and I just didn't know the answer. Did they ever offer any clarity why there were 2 separate celebration penalties there and not just one wrapped in? Because I've never heard of that before.
Yeah. No, see, Bob, I didn't ask you. I was so mad that we had that. The targeting, I don't want that to happen, but, an aggressive penalty. You know, you're playing football, but that other stuff, we have no room for that here at LSU, and our players understand that.
Coach, going to be a ton of build-up for this one, and the atmosphere and environment going to be really special on Saturday night, that first Saturday in November. What are you expecting from Tiger Stadium next weekend?
Well, to be the 12th man for us, they have been dominant. They have been a dominant group against Georgia and Mississippi State. Walking down the Tiger Walk, we feed off our fans. I know how they feel about this team we play, and I feel the same way about them, so let's go get them.
Coach, safe travels down to New Orleans. I know the quarterback club is waiting on you this morning. Have a good week recruiting. We'll see you Saturday night in Death Valley next weekend.
Go Tigers.
There he is.